Sarah Morgan's hands moved with practiced precision across the warehouse inventory sheet at Desert Peak Supply Depot in Nevada. Under harsh fluorescent lights, she appeared to be just another civilian logistics worker, methodically counting equipment boxes. But when Commander Alex Drake picked up her clipboard to verify inventory numbers, his eyes locked onto something that made time stand still. Stamped across the top in faded ink was a codename that should have been buried in classified archives. ***, Shadow Eagle, ***. The legendary reconnaissance specialist, with over 200 successful high-risk missions, officially declared missing in action 3 years ago. Drake's hand trembled as he stared at the woman, calmly taking back her clipboard. How was she alive? And why was she here, counting supply boxes like her extraordinary past never existed? ***. Hit that subscribe button, and let's continue this amazing journey together. ***. The morning had started like any other. Sarah arrived at 0600 hours sharp, her worn boots quiet on concrete floors. She'd been working inventory for 8 months, since emerging from a medical facility with discharge papers and a new identity. The transition from elite operations to civilian contractor had been jarring, but Sarah found peace in the simple, repetitive work. Each box, checked off her list, was another moment she didn't have to remember the weight of specialized equipment or the intensity of dangerous missions. Sarah kept to herself, developing a reputation as someone who preferred solitude while completing assignments with quiet efficiency. Her supervisor, Tom Richardson, a retired sergeant, had given up trying to draw her into workplace conversations months ago. To everyone at Desert Peak, she was simply Sarah Morgan, a reliable contractor who maintained accurate records. Sarah's fingers moved across supply crates with practiced ease, her trained eyes quickly assessing condition and quantity. She was halfway through a shipment when she heard measured, confident footsteps approaching the walk of someone accustomed to command. "Excuse me," came Commander Drake's authoritative voice. "I need to check something on your inventory sheet." Sarah raised her eyes to meet those of Commander Alex Drake, a decorated officer whose reputation preceded him throughout Desert Peak. His graying hair and weathered face spoke of long deployments and difficult decisions, while his sharp eyes suggested a mind that missed nothing. Without a word, Sarah extended the clipboard. Drake's attention initially focused on her neat handwriting and precise notations. But then his expression changed as his scan reached the top of the page where contractor identification was stamped. The ink had faded over time, but remained legible to someone who knew what to look for. Drake's grip tightened as he processed what he was seeing. Shadow Eagle wasn't just any codename. It belonged to a legend whispered about in special operations communities worldwide. The operator who earned that designation had completed some of the most challenging missions in modern history, operating in locations that officially didn't exist on any records. Shadow Eagle had been active across multiple continents, credited with achievements that other operators deemed impossible. More importantly, Shadow Eagle had been presumed killed during a mission 3 years ago that went catastrophically wrong. Yet here stood Sarah Morgan, waiting calmly for her clipboard's return, as if the earth-shattering revelation stamped at the top was merely a clerical notation. Drake studied her face with new awareness. Sarah's features were unremarkable at first glance, the kind of face that blended into crowds. But now, Drake could see the subtle signs: posture too perfect, awareness too sharp, stillness too complete. She stood like someone trained to be invisible, while remaining ready to move instantly. Sarah watched Drake carefully, reading the progression of emotions crossing his features. She'd known this moment would come eventually. The faded codename wasn't an oversight, it was a deliberate choice, a small rebellion against bureaucracy that tried to erase her existence. When official reports declared Shadow Eagle killed in action, Sarah had been unconscious in a field hospital, her body broken but her spirit intact. The mission had indeed gone wrong, but she survived through skill, determination, and refusal to give up. Recovery involved months of rehabilitation, both physical and psychological. The decision to let Shadow Eagle remain officially deceased was made by people far above her level. She'd been given a new identity, a civilian position, and instructions to disappear into logistics work. But Sarah had never followed orders blindly. The faded codename was her quiet act of defiance, a reminder that Shadow Eagle hadn't truly died. Drake finally looked up, his eyes meeting Sarah's with respect, confusion, and professional curiosity. "I think," he said carefully, voice low, "we should have a conversation about your previous experience with inventory management." Sarah's expression didn't change, But Drake caught a flicker of sharp intelligence in her eyes, the same intelligence that once guided impossible achievements. She extended her hand to reclaim the clipboard. "I've always been good with numbers," she replied neutrally, "especially when accuracy matters." Drake recognized the coded language, the careful acknowledgement without explicit confirmation. "Perhaps," he suggested, "you might be interested in discussing some specialized inventory work that requires your particular skill set." Sarah returned to her counting, but Drake could see her processing his words, evaluating implications and risks. He understood he was asking her to step back into a world she'd officially left behind. Drake lingered, studying the woman who had once been one of the military's most valuable assets. Sarah Morgan, Shadow Eagle, whoever she truly was, beneath layers of official identity, represented something rare. A survivor who had faced ultimate tests and emerged, changed, but unbroken. As Drake walked away, his mind formulated plans. The discovery of Shadow Eagle's survival couldn't be ignored. The question was, what to do with that knowledge, and whether Sarah was ready to reclaim what she'd been forced to abandon. Asterisk, asterisk. 2 days later, asterisk, asterisk. Drake returned with a proposal that would change everything. Desert Peak is establishing an advanced training program, he explained in a private meeting. We need an instructor with real-world experience to teach reconnaissance and tactical assessment to special operations personnel. Someone who understands not just theory, but practical application under extreme conditions. The offer was carefully constructed. Teaching would let her utilize specialized knowledge without returning to dangerous operations while maintaining her civilian contractor status. Sarah considered carefully. What kind of training program? Advanced tactical reconnaissance for elite units? Drake replied. We're developing curriculum that goes beyond standard protocols, incorporating real-world scenarios and innovative problem-solving. The description matched Sarah's expertise perfectly. The program would let her pass on knowledge earned through years of experience while remaining officially disconnected from her Shadow Eagle identity. After careful consideration, Sarah accepted. The transition would require adjustments, but she felt ready for the challenge. Asterisk, asterisk. Weeks later, asterisk, asterisk. Sarah stood before her first class of 12 special operations personnel from various branches. Her introduction was deliberately understated, emphasizing her civilian contractor status rather than classified background. Initial sessions focused on fundamental principles, allowing Sarah to assess each student's abilities. Her teaching style was patient and methodical, drawing on years of experience to provide individualized guidance. But as the program progressed, she incorporated advanced techniques, reflecting her operational background. Students learned to assess complex situations, calculate risk factors, and maintain effectiveness under stress conditions, simulating real scenarios. Word of the program's effectiveness spread rapidly through Desert Peak's special operations community. Sarah found herself energized by teaching in unexpected ways. Watching students master difficult concepts provided satisfaction, rivaling memories of successful missions. She was contributing to military effectiveness while remaining safely removed from direct danger. Asterisk, asterisk. Several months into the program, asterisk, asterisk, Sarah received an unexpected visit from Department of Defense official Mr. Chen. His brief private conversation confirmed that appropriate agencies knew of her civilian status and approved her current role. Your work training special operations personnel is considered valuable service, Chen said, honoring your previous contributions while providing ongoing benefit to national security. The recognition provided reassurance that her transition remained officially supported at highest levels. Asterisk, asterisk. As the program entered its second year, asterisk, asterisk, Sarah had established herself as one of Desert Peak's most respected instructors. Students consistently achieved proficiencies exceeding standard requirements, and several credited her training with enhancing their operational effectiveness. The program's success led to expansion requests from other installations, with plans to replicate Sarah's curriculum nationwide. She was asked to develop standardized materials and potentially travel to establish similar programs elsewhere. Most importantly, teaching provided Sarah with purpose and community missing since her forced retirement. She'd found a way to remain connected to the military world while building sustainable civilian life that didn't depend on adrenaline and danger. Commander Drake, who'd recognized the faded codename that started Sarah's journey back to meaningful service, became a close colleague and advocate for her continued involvement in training. Asterisk, asterisk. Years passed, asterisk, asterisk, with steady rhythm of training cycles and student graduations. Sarah's program became the gold standard for special operations training, attracting personnel from allied nations seeking expertise Desert Peak had become famous for providing. Sarah received invitations to speak at conferences and contribute to research studying human performance under extreme conditions. She discovered she enjoyed translating practical experience into theoretical frameworks, informing both training, development, and equipment design. The balance between teaching, research, and international consultation created a professional life both demanding and fulfilling. Sarah had evolved from a legendary operator hiding in anonymity to a recognized expert whose contributions shaped special operations capabilities throughout the Allied military community. Perhaps most importantly, Sarah had found a way to honor her past while building a sustainable future. The faded codename on her old clipboard had led to discoveries about identity, purpose, and service that continued unfolding with each passing year. The transformation from Shadow Eagle to Instructor Morgan proved that skills and values developed through extreme experience could find new expression in contexts honoring their origins while creating different kinds of meaning. Sarah's story continued evolving, shaped by students she taught, colleagues she worked with, and the ongoing challenge of translating hard-won knowledge into forms benefiting others facing their own challenges. On quiet evenings, Sarah sometimes reflected on the journey from dangerous operations to Desert Peak classrooms. The path had been neither straight nor simple, involving loss, recovery, reinvention, and ultimately rediscovery of purpose within a familiar but transformed context. The faded codename had been more than bureaucratic oversight or defiance. It was a bridge between past and future, a reminder that identities could evolve without being abandoned entirely. Shadow Eagle might be officially deceased, but the skills, values, and dedication that earned that designation lived on in Instructor Morgan. Sarah's legacy was no longer measured in successful missions, but in enhanced capabilities and improved preparedness of special operations personnel she trained. Her impact would be felt for years through the soldiers who benefited from her teaching. In choosing to step forward from shadows of her classified past, she discovered that some legacies were best preserved through transformation rather than preservation, and some knowledge was most valuable when shared with those who needed it most. Thanks for watching this incredible story of courage, reinvention, and dedication to service. Hit that subscribe button for more epic adventures. And let us know in the comments, what would you do if given a second chance at a meaningful life? Remember, true heroes find ways to serve that honor their past while building their future.